Traffic conditions and the timing to get to our job or the places that we need to move around. So it's very difficult to find the right place to live, even considering it is one of the biggest cities of the world. So it's a lot of challenge that needs to be finding the right place.
Yes, well, thank you. I think that Karina has a lot of reason when we are talking about different variables that we have in Mexico City and the states around it. So specifically looking to rent or buy a house in Mexico City or in the metropolitan area, it is focused on issues related of cost, distance to the workplace, safety, specific needs of a space and functionality, because it is a large city in a population what this entails. So as Karina mentioned, is a big challenge to find a place that cover all the needs that we have as person, as a professional in living in Mexico City or near on the states near to Mexico City.
Mm-hmm. How was the process to buy a house?
Well, if I can, I think let me share with you my last experience. A few years ago, I looked for an option to invest, focusing on a house for a few years. So I support myself with an expert in real estate company that helped me not only in the search, but also in finding the best mortgage loan aligned to my need and scope. So again, is depending of what the purpose of your search is, that I think that we need somebody to help us or to go with us to find exactly what we need or what we expect.
I would also like to complete Monica's. I agree with what she mentioned, but also I think it's also one of the things that we need to consider is that for the mortgage, usually you have to be very careful with all that the houses that you're looking for have all the paperwork to get the approval of the mortgage, because many of the houses here have incomplete documentation because they are people just inherited from previous owners or just don't have complete paperwork to be able to sell the house or to rent the house. So that's also one of the challenges when you're looking for the right place to live. It's not only that you have the money to pay the mortgage, that you have all the right amount in the timing that you need to do so, but also be sure that the paperwork of that property that you are looking for is also complete, so you don't have any issues getting the mortgage approved. So it gets to be very complicated. So as Monica mentioned, having someone that can help you in the real estate to make some filters of all these different things that you need to consider, it's very, very helpful and very important for us. Especially as you said, we are working women, so we don't have that much time. So that will be very, very helpful for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, and that is what's happening in Mexico, because we don't have yet the apps like Zillow and Trigo as in the United States. They have all this information before you can buy the house. You have the right price, who was the owner, everything. And in Mexico, we need to do this with regulations. Thank you very much. Have you been using apps?
Yes, for different reasons. I think the apps now are a very useful tool for everything in our daily lives, but specifically for looking for a place to visit, a place to live, the apps have been very useful. I just recently used the app for rent for an Airbnb home to spend some vacation days. So yes, the answer is yes, they are very useful. And as I mentioned before, I think now the apps have been very friendly because they have created them with different filters, so you can select exactly or easier what you're looking for, reducing the searching time and facilitating to finding the right thing that you're looking for.
Okay, and in my case, at that time, at the experience that I had, I didn't know if there was apps that would support the search. So in that moment, support me in social media to find an expert person. So I find a person, I remember in internet or in Facebook. So I'm not sure in this moment we can use a different tool for the search, but in that moment I didn't know about it.
Okay, perfect. Well, what do you think it will be the easiest way, PropTech, using PropTech, like tecnología and bienes raíces, technology and real estate?
Well, I think the easiest way would be just try it. Start using it to see all the different platforms that are available now. To as Monica said, probably when we purchased the house that we're living right now, maybe we couldn't find it with the apps, but now with all these new technologies, I think we have to try them. And as I said, with the Airbnb, I have searched through them and I see that there are different options. Like one thing that I really like to see is that they have pictures of different parts of the house. So you don't have to go there to visit all the houses. You just visit the ones that you select that you would like to know because you have already have a preview of them through the pictures. So those different little things that the apps facilitate your life right now, I think they are very helpful. And with PropTech, I think will be very, very helpful to reduce the timing, to find the right place and the right in the right neighborhood that you would like to live.
Mm-hmm. Well, in my case, sorry. In my case, I think that because we are a woman that we work or we have we need to take care of the children and we have a lot of things to do. In my case, in the past, I usually to travel a lot. I think that it seems to me that social networks, the internet apps could support me. So I belong to different groups in Facebook with different persons that they share all the opportunities that they have talking about real estate, houses, offices. I think in that moment it's a good option, but I think that the needs that we have as customers, talking about all the companies and all the fields, no matter is a corporate office or is a real estate company. So we need to be sure what the customer is looking for. And maybe they need to develop a different model of how we are going to reach the customers, the right customers that we are looking for.
Perfect. Yes, we just go through Unishu and go to our program like El Poder del PropTech, that we have the channel, the social media, and you can find information for do this. For example, how to use intelligent photograph for photographs. For example, how to use the website. We have people from La Riviera Maya using already PropTech, and you can find everywhere. You can find even an app called AvaClick, where you can evaluate the price of your home, for example, if you want to sell it. We have a lot of tools to do this now, like digital. Even we are locked down. Perfect, thank you. Well, Karina, you work in a mobile company. Do you think this kind of app of tours installed in the smart home for smartphones from factory will be useful?
Yes, I think it will be very useful, but I don't think that they can install them from the factory. I mean, the phones come with, like, let's say, no birth certification. The apps are installed usually by the carriers that sell the phones. But yes, I think the apps are very useful, as I said before. Just need to be very careful because there are some apps that may cause some damage if you don't know how to install that, but not talking about these ones specifically. But in general, the apps are very useful tools. Some of them just need to learn how to use them properly because some of them consume a lot of data inside your phone and may cause some perception that the battery is no good for the phone. But it is just a matter of better usage of it. But going back to the apps have revolutionized a lot of these technology work. I think they have helped a lot in different areas. And it's talking specifically about real estate. I think it's very important. As I said before, especially for people that have to work, that have to do other stuff. Now you don't have to work all the different streets to find a thing. You can just search through them through any app. There's many options now available that can help you reduce the searching time for anything that you would like to find. Other than these apps, as Monica mentioned, as social stuff like WhatsApp, like Facebook, that also can help you through different groups to help what you're searching. So yes, apps are very important in our daily lives right now.
Okay, well, Karina shared with us some data. I will share the graphics, and please, Karina, let us know about this.
Yes, it's just a historical overview of how much the phones are being used right now. As you can see, there's usually the smaller age, let's say below 30 years, are the highest users of the smartphones in general. But it was amazing for me to see how much the, let's say the older people, above 60 years old, they have increased a lot the usage of the phone. You can see that about 10 years ago, they barely used the phone. They were maybe afraid, they didn't know new technology, maybe as the first microwave ovens or something like that. Now, more than 80% of these people have feel safe using, or at least having a smartphone. There, as I said before, there are many different apps. So it's very important to have this in mind, because when you have an app, I think you have to think that that will be used for many different range of ages and many different way of thinking here. So it has to be very friendly to be used for people from 15 years old all the way down to 80 years old, for example. So that needs to be considered for the people behind the scenes developing the apps too.
Yeah, you have an experience about with your mom. You told me, and she's 80 and she's using WhatsApp right now.
My mom is closest to 90, more than 80. And yes, she has learned, I think, more with this pandemic situation. She has learned to use more the phone, as I mentioned to Claudia. She has now used more WhatsApp and WhatsApp video calls, which she didn't use before the pandemic. So that's one of the good things of the pandemic, at least for us. This other chart shows how the people that used to own a phone. One is the usage and the other is how many own the phone. As I mentioned before, people usually, the people from 15 to maybe 40, 45 years, they have, it's like they have it glued in their hands. They have born with a phone, so they know their lives rely probably on a phone. But people that are older, a little bit, maybe they were born without a phone and they don't feel it as necessary. But as you can see, at least more than 50% of the population now, they have a phone. And as we showed in the previous slide, they not only have the phone, they use it. So I think it's very good news for everybody. And it's something that we need to consider for everything in our daily lives.
Yes, and very good for PROPTECH, because we need to use the phones, the smartphones, any kind of range age.
That you have a lot of a population that can be covered with this good news.
Perfect. Okay, Moni, have you been traveling for work and pressure around the world? Have you been using apps to find where you will be staying inside and outside Mexico?
Well, as you mentioned, I have been, I used to travel a lot. So we have, because I work for different global companies. So we have a person in charge of that. My understanding in that moment is that we have been using apps to find plane, hotels, rent a car, a lot of things. So in terms of accommodation, the organizations rely on a travel agency to have corporate relationships. However, I remember that an application that is widely used in an organization that belongs to American Express is called Concur. And it is used to reserve, but also to check expenses. And then this application can be connected with some ERPs for better administration. So my understanding is that now the persons in charge of that, they have an application, an app in the computers, and they avoid to talk with somebody or to, so they use this app for everything. So this application is from Amex, the name is Concur. In personal planning, I have used apps like Airbnb most of the time, or sites like Best Day, Trivago, Despegar. So this kind of application that we use for my personal travels. I think that I like the application that I like the most is Airbnb, because you can find, it's very, how can I say, it's easy to use. And in my experience, most of the time I find exactly what I need. Not only the place, or not only the beach or the country. I'm talking about the hotel. I remember that I used this Airbnb when I traveled to New York. I want to be in Times Square. So I find a room that covered my main objective. It was in Times Square. I don't care if it is a house or another thing. So I think it's a good option. And we have an application. I didn't know another similar. So, but in internet, we can find websites like to look hotels, rent a car, planes like Best Date or Trivago or something like that.
Yes, with this presentation, is our intention is that you encourage everybody to begin to use PROPTECH applications, as you say, or website, to find the right home or the right place to stay anytime and anywhere in the world.
In the right price.
In the right price.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, what will be your expectations about the realtors like me using these tools to share with our customers?
Well, I believe that most of the people, we are looking for add value. That means that there are many real estate agents or applications who can assist in a search. But I think that but they must be competent enough to add value to the customer or the client. And that not only meets their basic requirements. So, but also that their involvement in the process maybe, and look for the total satisfaction of the requirement is really appreciated. So as Karina mentioned, if for me, the most important thing is the cost, well, I can find a lot of costs and different, with different companies or applications, but sometimes you expect something else, you expect add value. So my recommendation is try to look to add value to the customers, and I'm sure that we love the application or the company that we can offer that.
Yes, I would complete Moni's idea. I think that if you get to know your customer, really know the customer, what are the needs, and sometimes we have more needs than the ones that we tell you. Just get to know that maybe there's a young couple that may have future bigger family, more kids or whatever. So you need to read our minds somehow to see, they will need probably schools, or maybe it's a family with older people. They probably need hospitals, and maybe we never tell you that. So you need to, this is part of reading our minds, maybe something that we don't tell you. You get to know the customer, and this is part of the value-added thing that Monica mentioned. It's not only the price allocation, the neighborhood, it's nice, big house, but also what would be the future needs, that since you are already investing in a property, or a vacation or whatever, you need to know. I will probably share one experience that we had. We go to the hotel, and maybe you're helping me to get that vacation for my family. But if you know me, you would tell, okay, you have small kids, it's not the pool. The pool, it's not safe. Maybe it's too deep, or maybe the beach, it's not safe because the water, it's very dangerous. You can tell me that, but that's not something that you can see in an app. That's something that you add value, because you know the place, you know what could be the best recommendation for me to go. And not only it has a beach, yes, that's the only filter that you can get from the app, but adding value, you would tell me more. Oh yes, it's close to this, or there's a cinema very close, or yes, there are different small kid games in near the pool that you can enjoy, or a lot of activities for the kids. So those are the added value things that the in a house also could be. Maybe, as I said before, you have an older people, maybe you need to be close to hospitals or doctors, or maybe there's a perfect house in the middle of the forest, and that will not work for. If you know your customer, if you know what are the needs, you can really help us with that.
Perfect. But this is what we are trying to do with all the apps and the information we are giving you. As I told you, in El Poder del PROPTECH, you can find us in YouTube, Facebook, and we are helping you to find the right home with Venta Casa Mexico too, even in Facebook or YouTube. Well, if you want to make a question for our guest, si quieren hacerle alguna pregunta a nuestras invitadas, y puede ser en español o en inglés, como gusten.
Looks like everything was very clear. No questions.
Perfect. Well, pues, thank you very much for being here at RE.CONNECT.
Let me only add something. You know that I'm a businesswoman. I work in a company. So since my point of view, what is a fact that companies of any line of business around the world must seek to reinvent their business model to the current needs of their clients, and take care of the economic, social, and health context, because that's something that we are expecting today in this business. So it's very important to take care about it, as Karina mentioned. And no matter the kind of company that we work for, we need to reinvent our business model and to try to align to the current situation that we are living around the world. It's only that is my only recommendation.
Yes, for sure we can help you to make this digital transformation, any kind of company you are working for, as you say, with El Poder del PROPTECH. Nos podemos ayudar a cualquier cambio digital o transformación que quieran hacer, ya sea a través del Poder del PROPTECH o también con el apoyo de Mónica y de Karina, cada quien por su lado. Y pues es parte de lo que comentaron, son de los factores importantes. What you mentioned are the main factors to choose these options as apps or tools or websites. Thank you very much to be here, and see you soon.
No, thanks to you. Thanks everybody that hear us, and well, I think that is in this moment that all the persons must to be in touch. We need networking for everything. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Every day we learn something new, and this is something that will help everybody. So thank you for helping us with this, Elizabeth.
No, thank you for you. Thank you very much. See you in El Poder del PROPTECH and Venta Casa México. Nice to see you and to be here.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
In issue with RE.CONNECT.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.